This is Eve, a 12-year-old dog that was euthanized at the Danville Area Humane Society on April 28th. Eve was surrendered to the shelter on April 10th due to a, quote, change in the owner's household. DAHS says it scanned Eve's microchip, but it came back unregistered. Danville says they then put Eve up for adoption, but did not receive any interest. And with the shelter at capacity, Eve was placed on the euthanasia list on April 27th and put down the next morning. But hours later, one of the shelter's adoption partners traced Eve's microchip to the Lynchburg Humane Society. By the time Lynchburg was notified and tried to coordinate a transfer, it was too late.
We all said, oh no. If at any time we had known that she had been adopted from the Lynchburg Humane Society, we would have called them, because we have done that in the past.
Had they been sending us pictures of their dogs that need rescue, or that was on their euthanasia list, or however they do that, we would have been the first to say, oh my gosh, that's Eve, we'll get her right away.
Lynchburg says that it's offered to take some of Danville's animals in the past to reduce overcrowding, but those requests have been denied. As an open admission shelter that will take any animal from Virginia, Danville often faces overcrowding at its shelter. As a result, its euthanasia rate, which has declined in recent years to 59%, is still well above the state's public shelter average of 13% and the state's overall average of 8.8%. Those numbers have placed the shelter under fire in the past, but Dean pushes back.
All we're being judged by is one number, and to us, animals can never be just numbers. We know the numbers. Everyone knows the numbers, but we know the story behind those numbers.
One of the shelter's biggest critics in recent years has been a community group called Danville Deserves Better, which formed back in 2023 to push for, quote, life-saving change at the shelter. They said they were devastated to hear Eve's story, criticizing the shelter for missing the microchip and alleging that it did not do enough to promote Eve for adoption.
Yes, she was a 12-year-old dog that had been owner surrendered, but she had a very clear pathway to continue in a long life.
In response, they started a petition calling for immediate action and reforms at the shelter and asking Danville City Council to hold a town hall addressing the situation. Virginia State Senator Bill Stanley has endorsed the petition, which now has more than 700 signatures. But Danville City Manager Ken Larkin told me the city has not heard about the petition and does not have plans to hold a town hall. That said, some change is in the works. Danville has added a question to its surrender intake form, asking the owner where they got the animal. Dean and Mollahan also say they've talked about a plan for Lynchburg to start taking some of Danville's dogs to reduce overcrowding.
Eve's life mattered to us, but let's make a tribute to her life now with saving more pets in the future. And that is our goal with bringing attention to this.